name is Annie, and I am a knitwear designer and yarn dyer living south of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm really glad you stopped by my podcast today because I really do believe that there's just something about yarn that brings us together. I have got quite the episode for you guys. It's going to be hard for me to keep it under the 30-minute mark, which, with everybody pretty much staying home, you guys may not mind it. I do have a lot to do today, so I'm going to try to keep it concise. Sorry in advance if I do talk a little bit fast in my effort to get this done and get it published. So before I launch into all of that, though, I would like to say a quick thank you to all of my returning viewers. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to my podcast. I hope you enjoy. First order of business, in my cup today, I am drinking just coffee. I decided to be boring today. I brewed my regular coffee in my Ninja on the rich brew setting, which really does add a bit of flavor to it. And then I put in one of my favorite International Delight creamers because they are lactose free. So, and if you're wondering, this is an OtterBox thing. It keeps it hot. Well, I don't know if it'll show. There we go. It keeps it hot for a long time. So that way, as I'm sitting here podcasting, I still have hot coffee by the time I'm done. So maybe next time I'll try to be a little bit more interesting in what's in my mug. Just a quick note, as I mentioned, I do have a lot to get done today. So between that and not being able to go get my hair cut, I did decide to forego the faux hawk again today. And plus, I do have quite a bit of yarn today, so I didn't feel like really fixing my hair or doing my makeup at all today. So sorry guys, I'm a little bit more on the casual side of things. Just, being home, I'm just kind of letting my hair down. Not that I really can let my hair down, but you know what I mean. Before I launch into all the yarn and knitting fun stuff, I do have some admin-ly things to talk about for my monthly yarn clubs. The Sock Yarn, well, actually just the one, Sock Yarn Monthly. I had the cutoff date for, say you sign up by March 10th, you get March 10th, you get the March colorway. Going forward, I'm changing it to where if you want, say you want April's colorway, you need to sign up. Instead of the deadline being April 10th, the deadline is now the end of March. So I decided to change that so that way it's clear cut. If you sign up one month, your club starts the next month. Boom, you're done. Charged on the first of the month until you cancel. So keeping it really simple. New club deadlines. If you want the next month, sign up in the current month. That way you are auto charged on the first and boom, you're in. So yeah, anyway. For what I'm wearing, I decided to go with something nice and springy today. This was one of the absolute first shawls that I made. It may have been the first triangle shawl I ever made, but this is the Age of Brass and Steam, which is still floating around on Ravelry. I knitted this probably in, I want to say 2009, somewhere around there. But yeah, it's I believe it was a DK weight cotton, by Sublime, the company Sublime. I'm sure I'll link to the Ravelry project notes. I'm pretty sure I put it in. But yeah, it's very light. It's very small. It's more of like a neckerchief kind of thing. So yeah, I went deep project diving, honestly, today to pull out something springish. So anyway, now it doesn't look quite right. It never does when I put it back on. But anyway, so that's what I'm wearing. For works in progress, I have several things to show. Almost finished with my first little ankle sock. Really excited about that. I was hoping to have the first one done to show you guys and post a finished photo, but you know how it goes. I got distracted, and you'll see why in a minute. But anyway, yep, almost done. It's living, of course, still in my Ginger U bag. Hey Sister Yarn Co. yarn. All the details are in prior episodes, so I won't bore you with that again. Next, my shawl design in Long Dog Yarns. So last episode I showed the two textures or whatever that I was trying to decide on for this. I think I've decided, but I didn't actually start into it yet because I still need to do some maths for it. And I think I may need to rip back a little bit for the numbers to work out. But I finally put it on longer needles, so here it is. It's still not quite long enough, but here it is. So yeah, I'm either going to do a couple, I think I'm going to rip back so that the math, instead of knitting forward so that the numbers line up, I've used a little over half the skein, and I'm terrified of playing yarn chicken and not having enough because I wanted kind of a thick border. So I am thinking that I will go back until the numbers match up, and we'll see how that goes. But I believe from last episode, I believe this is where the marker was for last episode. Actually, you know what? I think that's for when Allison and Michael and I were playing Magic the Gathering over the weekend. And when you're playing with 3 people, the turns are really long. So I sat and knitted the entire time, kept my hands busy, and I got a lot done. So anyway, but yeah, I love how this colorway is knitting up. And I know this is not doing it justice. I have gone back and put photos of this yarn on the blog, so I'll be sure to include that link so that way you can see just how gorgeous this is. And yeah, hoping next week I will have begun working on the chart and can show you, a little bit more of how that's going. So I don't know if you guys were watching a while ago. I don't know how long ago it was. I guess 2018, early 2019. I don't know. But I won a giveaway that Hey Sister Yarn Co. did. And one of the lovely items was this Jenna Rose. It's kind of like it's like a bucket kind of tote thing. Not quite sure what to call it, but it's awesome for this project, and I love the fabric and everything, and I'll link to her shop. But living inside of this is the boys cardigan. And for those of you who may not remember, it is the Ranger pattern from Brooklyn Tweed, and I am knitting it in my superwash worsted base, and the colorway Just a Shadow. So I needed some mindless knitting last night, and I don't know if you guys remember, well, I'm not going to try to pull it out. The reason I wanted this big old thing was because I have 2 parts going. I started the sleeve, which sorry, Desi's scratching. Stop, I'm recording. Lie down, go to sleep. I started the sleeve, but Michael's arms are really long. So I had to go with the longest sleeve length, but the smallest dimension. So it was basically figuring out the math for the least number of decreases in the longest. Anyway, so yeah, it's like Frankensteining 2 different sizes and all the maths for that and everything. So anyway, I started the sleeve. I got about this much done. Probably, I did the cuff and probably up to about here on it. And it's all in texture stitch, and I put it down after a while because I just needed mindless stuff. That's when I started knitting socks instead. So anyway, long story short, I have 2 skeins for that because I'm alternating skeins because I dyed 10 skeins of yarn, so it's 2 5-skein dye lots. And of course the black dye was really weird, and one of the batches is more blue tinged and one of them is more yellow tinged. Same dye bottle, same pan, same afternoon, same base, soaked the same way, same vinegar, like everything was the same. And I don't know, anyway. So, I love this, I'm just going to call it a knitting bucket. I don't know, bucket tote, because I have the 2 skeins for the sleeve and the sleeve needles and everything else over there on one side. And then on the other side, I have the 2 skeins that I'm alternating because I cast on for the body. And it is turning out so soft and squishy, and the texture is lovely. So yeah, I'm almost done with the ribbing. Last night, I was a bit grumpy and irritable with Michael, and he's like, dude, you need to stop working. Like, you're pushing yourself too hard. So I thought, no, I'm fine. No, you're right. So I finished work, just wrapped a couple things up and put everything away out of sight in my office and just sat in the Papasan chair and turned on YouTube. So yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to cast on the body because I know it's just ribbing. It's just knit straight. Even when I start the texture, it's still just knit straight. So I can do this. And this is what I got done. So I'm really happy with how the alternated skeins are working together. And it's going to be a really, really nice, squishy, warm cardigan, which Michael needs. So yeah, that is what I did yesterday evening. I just basically attacked it, and I am really happy with how it's turning out. So that is living in here, and I can't wait to pick it up again later. This yarn is so soft and squishy too. Yeah. I love my worsted base. I'm not gonna lie. I love it. Not that I'm at all like biased or anything, but yeah. So as far as my making dreams and plans, still wanting to make the farm twist jacket. I finally pulled out my big reskeiner and put it back into skeins. The yarn from my campsite cardigan that I'm repurposing for the farm twist jacket. Finally put it all back into skeins out of the little balls that I had and cakes, and soaked it overnight in some warm water, and it's almost dry. All the little kinks and all the little, pressure points where it was in stitches for, gosh, that thing sat there for a couple years, knitted, and then even, about a month or so, I think, in cake form. So finally got all that done. Everything looks like it has kind of sprung back to the way it's supposed to be. So yay. I'm just waiting for it to dry and kind of, working on some other things in the meantime. So yeah, I'm hoping I will be able to start the farm twist jacket. Well, gosh, I may put it off until fall at this point because, spring is here in Georgia. So I'm going to be reaching for lighter stuff and cotton and, light things. So I don't know. Speaking of light things, I'm still trying to decide on the color for my little yellow sweater. I think I may be able to pull off my All That Is Gold colorway. I cannot, as I mentioned before, I cannot do yellow. My skin tone just, no. But I think because it's a little bit darker, more of like a gold, I think I might be able to do it. And that is a sock weight cardigan. I think I'll plan on the farm twist jacket being more of a fall project. It just took me longer to get around to, setting up the yarn and, getting all that done than I thought, of course, but I think it'd be fun to have that to look forward to, have the yarn and pattern just sitting there waiting, ready for me to start, in the summertime with fall knitting. Because, that colorway, I've been calling it pecan pie, but I really do think it's closer to my mocha colorway, so I think I'm gonna amend that. I dyed up some pecan pie the other day, and I was just looking at it going, yeah, my merino cashmere nylon DK is not pecan pie. But anyway, so that's random. But anyway, yeah, so that said, the little yellow sweater, I would like to go ahead and, if I can ever decide on the colorway, give it a shot. I may try the All That Is Gold, and if it absolutely does not work for me, I can over dye it. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, and then finally, as far as plans go, my Fintry shawl, I am really excited. As I mentioned, I dyed the yarn. I may, so let me back up. For the kit, I'm dyeing the yarn, and then I'll get it shipped out because the club is only available for a week. That gives me plenty of time to get the yarn from my supplier, get it dyed, and get it shipped out, all in the month of April, hopefully by like the second or third week of April, depending on how things go with my supplier. And then do a May knit along. So I may go ahead, because I'm, as I've said several times and we'll be talking about, going forward, we are prepping to move in May. So I may go ahead and start my fin tree ahead of time because I definitely want to take part in the knitting, in the cowl, and be knitting it with you guys. So yeah, I might jump on that like next month, or even, I don't know, next week. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of what I've got going right now, as far as making dreams and plans. And since I'm talking about the fin tree, I might as well jump right into stash enhancement and show you the yarn I dyed for myself. My Superwash DK is amazing and I love it. And oh my gosh, this color. Oh, I hope it shows up right. So this is my Sage colorway. I have not dyed this up in a long time, and I haven't knitted with it in a really long time. So yeah, I decided to do, so I actually talked to the designer of the fin tree, and she looked at my colorways and gave me some recommendations for what to do to make sure that all the details in the fin tree show up really well. So I'm sticking to light to mid tones, and oh my gosh, it's perfect. So yeah, I am really, really happy with how this turned out. And I think that this DK base is going to be the perfect combination for this pattern. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to do a kit. I need to get other people knitting this with me because it's going to be so fun. I cannot wait to dye this up for you guys. I do have another bit of stash enhancement thanks to my hashtag March Maker Swap idea, which I may be changing to hashtag Spring Maker Swap. But as I mentioned, I reached out to a couple of dyers and we got to talking and decided to do the swaps. They agreed and I got my first package and I'm so excited. So my first one is Wanderluck Fibers. And there is her adorable, like, I love birds, you guys, you know that. So to have another dyer who has a bird logo, oh my gosh. So yeah. So she had the idea to choose a few options, like a few colorways from each other's lines. Instead of just choosing one, we chose several. And her idea was that we surprise each other. So I sent her a list of 3 that I really loved, and this was one of them. This is Rosé Deconstructed is the main skein. And then she totally surprised me by including a mini skein as well to make a sock kit. Like, oh my gosh. I opened the package and was like, sock kit, oh my gosh, you know. So I immediately messaged her and I was just like gushing and yeah, anyway. So yeah, I am so in love with this. I cannot wait to knit these up. I'm gonna have to decide on an extra special pattern. I'm not doing this in vanilla socks. This is gonna be for a really cool, I don't know, maybe like something with some texture, so that way the pops of color really, you know, play well together. So yeah, that's my stash enhancement for this week and my first maker swap. Moving on to makers I am loving. I have 3 that I would like to mention. First up is Knox Mountain Knit Company, of course, the designer of the Fintry shawl. They are in the bracket for round 3 for Mason Dixon Knits March Mayhem with their Heart Nut socks. I am so excited. Gorgeous socks. I am definitely going to be getting that pattern and probably dyeing up, excuse me, I will probably be dyeing up a special yarn sock kit, sorry, got some allergies going on, a special sock kit for myself just to knit those socks because, oh my gosh, yes. After I do my Fintry shawl. But anyway, so yeah, definitely go check out their designs, and they're gorgeous. There are probably 4 or 5 just right off the bat looking at the Ravelry page that I want to make. So yeah, next up is Wild Slice. She does some of my favorite stickers. So the very first sticker that I put on my car was this amazing like a teardrop. It has like this scene, like nature in it. I'll post a photo. But yeah, check out her Etsy because her stickers are amazing. She just released a sticker that I am absolutely in love with, and I will probably have to wait to show it to you because I have an idea. It may or may not have inspired a yarn colorway. Yeah, so more on that later. And then last but not least is Big Sky Yarn Company. So I had the absolute pleasure of meeting them at Stitches United last summer, and they kindly gifted me a skein of yarn, which I believe I showed on the podcast. I know I talked about it, but it is going to be for a giveaway for the podcast. And then I stopped podcasting and I feel like so anyway, I wanted to go ahead and mention them because they are going to be featured as the first giveaway when we hit 100 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. So yay, I will show the skein of yarn at the end of the episode as I wrap up. So for this week's In the Dye Pots segment, I have a lot to show. I am kind of doing a trial run of my single sock base, brand new sock base that I'm wanting to add to my line. So I thought I would dye it up in several different colorways and see what you guys think. I think this one right here is the most exciting one for me right now. It is the new and improved Robin's Egg, the speckle version. And just, oh my gosh. The single ply yarn shows the speckles so well. I hope that's showing up. So yeah, I will have 2 skeins of that. And then to go with it, I dyed a skein of pecan pie just to see if anybody would want to put these two together. Oops, come on. I've got a skein of apricot jam. It's a nice bright spring and summer kind of colorway. So I dyed up a skein of Ireland, and the way that I did it, I don't even remember how I did it. I just kind of was like, oh, this color, this water can be repurposed. So I reused it and I dumped in some additional dye, and the way it came out is almost like a glaze. So I don't know if future skeins of Ireland will look like this, who knows, but I thought these looked really cool together. And the new version of Cypress that I showed off recently with the gorgeous dark speckles. I took photos and I'll be posting them on the blog so you guys can see. And then I had this random skein of my superwash worsted base in a colorway that I was kind of playing around with last fall and then never did anything with. I call it Geode Cave. It's basically gray overlaid with blue, kind of like a red, and then purple. So I'll have this skein as well, and this is potentially a one-off. So I was also playing around in the dye pots, and I decided once again to try tackling, I've been wanting to add a navy colorway to my line for a long time, and I finally did come up with one. Now, it's a mini skein because I was scared to put in a full skein and have it not turn out, but I love it. I just need to figure out the proportions for a full-size skein, and boom, I will have navy in my shop. I'm really excited about how it turned out. And then also, I was trying to do something and it didn't turn out, so I over-dyed it, and it turned out to be my elusive, I can never get it right, colorway Star Anise, which was one of my most popular colorways when I first started dyeing yarn in 2012, 13. I may have a formula to be able to bring this back. And incidentally, they look awesome together. So just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I also, same thing, need to figure out the proportions for full-size skeins. So let me know what you guys think, and maybe I can get those added to the next shop update schedule. Well guys, that is about it for the main knitting and yarn content of the podcast today. So I'm going to move on quickly to a little mini life segment, and then I'll wrap up because, like I said, I've got yarn to dye today and I feel like I've been talking forever. So as far as what I'm reading, same things as last time. Haven't started anything new yet. What I'm watching, I've been keeping up with Fiber for the People, her vlogs, Volenvine vlogs. Sandy by the Lakeside did a couple of vlogs, so I watched those last night. Lots of fun. I loved seeing her colorway, her 5 colorway set of Labiana May for her Vertices Unite shawl. I cannot wait to see how that comes together. Looks like a really fun project. And then last night I binge watched Cabin Land, which is a YouTube series by Sarah Underwood and her boyfriend, fiance. I don't know if they've actually gotten, I don't think they've gotten married. I don't know. Anyway, Jacob Witzling, they have some property in the Pacific Northwest, and they're building all these awesome cabins, and it was a lot of fun to watch. So binge watched all of that. And then what else did I put on? Oh, I started watching Atonement, which I never saw because it came out when I was quite a bit younger and my family didn't let me watch stuff like that. But it's the movie with Benedict Cumberbatch, James McAvoy, and Keira Knightley. And it looked interesting, and it was on Stars. And I have Stars right now to watch Outlander, which is going awesome. So yeah, same old. Lots of YouTube and, random TV shows as I'll have something going while I'm writing labels or, making stitch markers and things. So, anyway, and then as far as what I'm playing, same thing as last time. I kind of hit a wall with Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It's a little bit confusing. It's more of an open world kind of feel than the first one. So there are several different directions I can go, and I keep getting stuck. So I'll go as far as I can, and I'm like, oh wait, I can't do this yet because I probably need one of the abilities or whatever from another set. Anyway, yeah. So a little bit stuck with that. So I got on Forza Horizon 4 and drove around in my Bugatti Divo, which I really wish I had in person because damn, it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, video games. Yeah, love it. I think that's about it. So let me show you real quick. We are approaching 90 subscribers. When we hit 100, this right here is the skein of yarn that I will be giving away to a lucky viewer. Big Sky Yarn Company, as I mentioned, gorgeous spring colorway. Let me do it like this. Hopefully, there we go. So this is their United colorway. It was a special colorway they did for Stitches United last summer. And she chose this as the giveaway skein and so kindly gifted it to me. So yeah, I will put photos on the blog so you guys can see. I think I will probably throw in stitch markers or a progress keeper or something like that to go with this. That way it's a nice little mini bundle. So yeah, as soon as we hit 100 subscribers, giveaway. And I think I'll do it on Ravelry so that way I can, we can have like a chat thread or whatever and kind of go from there. That is it for today's episode. And I'm going to be hard pressed to trim this down to the hopeful, like 20, 30 minutes. It may be a little bit longer, but like I said, I don't think you guys will mind too much. I had a lot to talk about, a lot of yarn to show for the update tomorrow. So hoping that'll be kind of a regular thing where I can start putting up shop updates maybe every couple of weeks for you guys. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And that way we can get the giveaways going. And my shawl is falling off. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming back, and Desi's barking in the background, so I better wrap up. Happy knitting, stay well, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!